you know.
What do you think it's going to be like tonight?
What do I think it's going to be like tonight? As far as the gig, I think it's going to be totally insane, and I'm going to love it, you know. I think it's going to be packed. It's going to be crowded. A lot of people is coming out that have been wanting to see the funk, you know, and it's like, you know, and we're just glad to be back together, you know, Maceo, Fred, you know, Gary Scheider, Mike Hampton, Mudbone. Everybody's just so happy to be back together. And I don't know, it's just going to be a big party, you know, a funked up party. Yeah.
How did you come to play with James Brown? If you could talk a little bit about your background.
How we came up with to meet with James Brown was he was always recording in Cincinnati at King's Records, and you know, I was young. I was about 14 when I first realized that maybe there's a possibility if I hung around the studio long enough, he might see me, you know, and he might get interested in, you know, showing us the ropes or something. You know, that was a far cry from what was happening. But we figured if we hang around, we can bug him. You know, maybe we can get to meet the musicians and meet him. You know, so that's what the angle we took. You know, we just hung around the studio, and by hanging around the studio, this guy named Charles Sperling, he kind of pulled us in, and we started doing rhythm section work with him. And then somebody else seen us, Henry Glover, that was doing Arthur Prysock, Arthur Prysock, Bill Doggett. They kind of seen us, and you know, next thing you know, we started doing session work with them. And the next thing you know, we was doing a bunch of session work over Kings, and that's how James Brown got to hear about us. You know, we started doing all the session work over there. And we, as a matter of fact, we were doing everybody but him. You know, so it's like, it started off from there. You know, just working over there at Kings, and we ran into Maceo and them, we met them, and every time they came over, we just was over there just to listen and watch and see what we can catch, you know. And because we idolized all them cats, you know. We were more so in the band, more so than James. I mean, you know, everybody was into James, but we were more so into the band, the musicians, you know, because they were the cats, you know. I mean, James was calling the stuff out, but the musicians was definitely the ones we were interested in, you know. So we got a chance to meet everybody and hung out a little bit, you know. So that's pretty much where it started from. And I think what happened was when James really needed us, that's probably where it really stemmed from, because he called us because he knew we knew everything. We knew the whole show. You know, it was just like having his band. So when he called us, he knew that, you know. And what had happened, he had some problems with the old band. And when he called us, Bobby Bird came and picked us up in the Learjet. We flew from Cincinnati. We were doing a benefit concert on Gilbert Avenue in a place called the Wine Bar. I never will forget it. We're doing a benefit. I don't know who was benefiting, but we wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So they came and picked us up from there, flew us down to Columbus, Georgia. That was our first gig with James Brown. And that was in, I think it was the end of '69. That was our first gig, you know? And from there, we just became the road band, you know? And all the rest of it is funk history.
What is funk?
What is funk? Funk to me is a way of life. I think we came up funky, you know? I mean, it's loose, and when you get to a certain point, you can't deal with it. You just say, "Oh, funk it," you know. It's just you've had it, you know. You had enough, and it's a lifestyle, you know. Everything is on the one, you know. So, you know, funk is a way of life to us, you know, and it's coming up in the streets, you know, and it's being funky. It's doing what comes funky to you. Funk is a style. Funk got style. You know, so when you see people coming in off the streets, you know, they might call it something else today or tomorrow, but it's all in funk. You know, it's all in funk because that's what the street is all about. And you learn to live that way, you know. So that's basically where we were coming from. And we just expressed it through music, you know. And that's the best communication we could come up with because that's what we did best, you know. So it's basically what it is.
How and when did you realize that you had the funk?